Hi, my name is Crystal and you're watching the Deslob Student. Today we're going to be talking about splitting and the back and forth thing that the brain does when it's trying to make decisions or just proceed in the best way possible. It has a splitting effect. Sometimes it's black and white thinking, sometimes it's back and forth, sometimes it's a merry-go-round of thoughts. And so the first video you're going to watch is from the morning of August 31st, and that video has just audio playing as I'm getting ready for work, and I'm listening to this really great motivational speaker talk about living our best lives and how to handle the splitting that happens in the mind.
Supposing that I say to you, each one of you is really the great self. And you say, well, all you've said up till now makes me fairly sympathetic to this intellectually, but I don't really feel it. What must I do to feel it really? My answer to you is this. You ask me that question because you don't want to feel it really. You're frightened of it. And therefore what you're going to do is you're going to get a method of practice so that you can put it off. So that I can say, well, I can be a long time on the way getting this thing. And then maybe I'll be worthy of it after I have suffered enough. See, because we are brought up in a social scheme whereby we have to deserve what we get. And the price that one pays for all good things is suffering. But all of that is precisely postponement, because one is afraid here and now to see it. If you had the nerve, real nerve, you would see it right away. Only that would be, when one feels you shouldn't have nerve like that. Why, that would be awful. That would be, that wouldn't do at all. Because after all, I'm supposed to be poor little me. And I'm not really much of a muchness. And I'm playing the role of being poor little me. And therefore, in order to be something great, like a Buddha or a Jivan Mukta, one liberated in this life, I ought to suffer for it. So you can suffer for it. There are all kinds of ways invented for you to do this. And you can discipline yourself, and you can gain control of your mind, and you can do all sorts of extraordinary things. But that's just like being able to run the 100 yards in 9 seconds, or any other kind of accomplishment you want to engage in. There's absolutely nothing to do with the realization of the self. The guru, the teacher, is trying to make you come off it. Now, if he finds he can't make you come off it, he's going to put you through all these exercises, so that you'll, at the last time, when you've got enough discipline, and enough suffering, and enough frustration, you'll give it all up and realize you were there for the beginning and there was nothing to realize. So this tremendous schizophrenia in human beings of thinking that they are rider and horse, soul in command of body, or will in command of passions, wrestling with them, all that kind of split thinking simply aggravates the problem. And we get more and more split. And so we have all sorts of we've been brought up that way. It's very important to get rid of that illusion of duality between the thinker and the thought. So find out who is the thinker behind the thoughts, who is the real, genuine you.
The second video is from my 12-step group, where I'm not recording anybody else's personal stories or shares. This is just my own personal share that I recorded kind of secretively while I was talking in my 12-step, because I wanted a glimpse of what I'm feeling and saying. I wanted to see myself from a third perspective. I wanted to see myself as somebody else would see me. And so as I'm recording, I think I'm making sense while I'm speaking, but then I watch it back and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I am not making any sense at all. So that's the second video. It's talking about my splitting and the craziness that's going on with my marriage right now, and the back and forthness that I'm experiencing as I'm in this separated state. We're not married in the married sense of the word, and we're not divorced. We're in this separation that we're not really sure what to do with. Hi, I'm Crystal and I'm codependent. I got a sinus headache, so I'm sorry I was messing up a lot from the back and forth. I really appreciate that reading tonight about the attachment, because I find myself gravitating back towards my husband. He's definitely codependent as well, but he'll never admit it, and I'm not going to push that at all. But because he's attached to me and I'm attached to him, we're just constantly magnetics, rubber band going right back to each other. Yesterday we had a court hearing about conciliation services, which in all truthfulness, that was just my way of one last formality before trying to file for legal separation or for filing for divorce. I wanted the courts to know and for him to know that I even tried conciliation services. It was more or less for just one last rock left unturned, or I had to do that one last thing. And when she's mediating between us, she's so confused. She can't tell whether I want out or I want to stay together. She's like back and forth, and she's like, I'm confused. And she doesn't know us, and she's just a mediator and social worker. She's not a counselor, she's not a lawyer. She's just trying to help negotiate. It was such a nightmare of a conversation with this mediator yesterday in the court hearing that I felt so conflicted. Like, okay, so do I just tell him what he wants to hear so that we can stop fighting and so she can stop being annoyed, and okay, fine, I guess I'll shut up. And then at some point she's like, well, maybe you guys should probably consider divorce if that's what you want to do, because it doesn't sound like you guys are having any healthy patterns, and you guys don't talk to each other very kindly, like you really want this to work. And which I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm on my way out. And like, I'm totally not healthy in my mind frame, and I know it, yet I can't seem to stop myself. Like, I'm perpetually spinning, like every day it's something different, but I can't seem to help myself. So I liked what I read in the back and forth thing that I didn't do too well. Rather than thinking what I'm doing is not good enough, I just have to keep remembering it's progress over perfection. And I am progressing somewhere, I don't know where, but I'm progressing, and I'm learning detachment, and it may be just a little bit every day that I'm detaching a little bit more. But every time I make a hard detachment, I'm right back to him like 10 times more. And it's like, I just need to keep inching my way away from him, even though he wants me back, and even though he wants to make this work, and even though he swears he's changing, and even though I'm just so tired. So I've roped my friend into, I'm sharing more truth with her, pretty much my one and only support friend that's known me forever. I've been pretty good about telling her only what I'm comfortable with telling her, and she knows how hard I'm trying to detach from him, but then I'm telling my husband something completely different, like, we'll make this work. So the two completely different sides of me is contradicting to both sides. So she's confused, and my husband's confused, and this poor mediator's confused, and I'm confused. So it's like, I'm trying to let her in more into my back and forthness, so that at least if I can be honest with her with my back and forthness, maybe I'll start being more honest with myself, and then I can have that accountability piece where it's not just me being in the dark with him and being in the dark with her. And I can't expect my same brain to fix myself. Is basically I need to lean on something or someone a little more often. So that's why I'm glad I'm going to 3 CODA groups a week, because I think being able to at least say it out loud, I'm hearing myself, I'm repeating my poor behaviors, and instead of shaming me, I'm just recognizing it and being in my awareness and just progress over perfection, and that's where I'm at. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks.
In the 3rd video, you will see my son and I singing some songs that we just enjoy doing sometimes. We just like to sing songs sometimes. And this helps me get grounded, helps me bring myself back to center, is singing songs, just being silly, spending time with my kids, and this is just a really sweet moment. So I wanted to share that last video with you. Alexa, turn on the Serenity Room light. I wanna know
What you're thinking?
Tell me what's on your
Mine.
I wanna know
What you're thinking? Tell me what's on your mind. Craft.
I don't know how it goes.
I wanna know what you're thinking. That's all I know.
Tell me what's on your mind.
I wanna know how
what
many
you're
people are in jail for criminal activity.
What? Where'd you get that?
I go to random places.
In your mind?
Yeah. Also in jail.
Take me.
To jail? Okay.
No, take me to the random
I don't think
places
it's going
in
to be
your
that hard
mind.
for you. Like all the time
You're
you
the
bought-
one threatening to throw anvils at my head.
You said that first.
Or saying
I threw a pillow at you. Oh, you're going to throw an anvil at me? Mom.
You're
Welcome to Dave and Buster's show where we can't get a good show.
he compared my fall to a pencil trying to hold up a ton, like a 1-ton vehicle on a pencil. Yes, I broke my freaking knee, ACL, trying to do the
If you do it on
pelican.
an apple, the apple will just fall. Not break it.
I fell. I was standing like a pelican.
The reason why I say a ton because the ton could crash or break the leg in the whole in one weight instead of just falling over and it breaking them.
Yeah.
You never hurt yourself when you hit the floor. You hurt yourself when you're standing up.
I hurt myself while I was standing because my leg gave way, my knee gave way, because I'm a ton car on a pencil is what you compared it to.
I wanna know
What you're thinking.
Probably about a ton on a pencil.
What?
I said I wanna know what you're thinking. It's probably a ton on a pencil.
A ton on a pencil. Tell me what's
On your mind.
I wanna know what you're feeling. Is there
There's
something you can
hide. The bodies.
Do we know what we're singing?
No.
Hiding the bodies?
Yeah. You know, it's normal Saturday evening.
Mm.
I feel like there's another
it's a
song.
Tuesday night. You feel like there's what?
I feel like I want to sing a different song that's from the 80s.
Okay, what do you want to sing?
Think of one. Oh. Oh,
Take on me, take on me.
that's a joke song.
What about
I got a good one.
Africa? What's that song?
That's a 90s song, but the one I'm thinking of, Electric Avenue. Gonna rock to Electric Avenue. And then we take it higher.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
No.
I don't know that song.
Gonna rock to Electric Avenue. And then we take it higher.
Bum, ba, ba, da, da, dum. Electric to electric avenue.
I'm gonna rock to Electric Avenue.
I don't even know
Then
that
we
song
take
very
it
well.
higher. It's something about people can't afford food, so they make a revolution.
Let me take it higher. Bye. Bye.
Soup is a restaurant down the street. come buy my soup and I'll shoot you kneecaps.
Don't go there.
If you haven't noticed, I might be the Deslob student, but I'm not just learning about decluttering or becoming less of a slob. I am also learning a lot about life, cooking, and healing, and becoming my best self. This is all part of my learning process. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the videos, and I hope you learned something as well, or maybe you have something you can teach me and you want to comment below. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and talk to you later. Bye.